afternoon and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Juma Yusuf. Now, without social, political and economic stability, it will be difficult for any country to effectively manage its resources. President Buhari said this while addressing the special envoy of the President of the Republic of Congo at the State House in Abuja this Thursday. A statement by the special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the President pledged continued collaboration with the country to get the best for the respective countries and invest for development. President Buhari also emphasized that he will give his best to bridge the deficit gap of infrastructure, while he stressed on the need for peace, stability, so that resources of the country can be used for the good of the people. The special envoy, on behalf of his president, wished President Buhari wisdom and good health so that he can continue to lead his people efficiently and effectively. Still on the presidency, President Mohammed Buhari says the ongoing reforms in the agriculture, healthcare, education, infrastructure and social investment is targeted at fast-tracking the needed socio-economic development of the country. The president stated this at the 11th edition of the Tinubu Colloquium, says the next will be more exciting and promising. The vice president, who reiterated the federal government's commitment to sustain and expand the ongoing program that will improve the life of its citizenry, most especially women and youths in the country, says the next level will be more exciting and promising. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, who represented President Buhari at the Bola Tinubu Colloquium, says the celebrant has distinguished himself as a transformative leader by always considering merit in political appointments without sentiments. He emphasized that the problem of the country is not lack of ideas, but lack of the political will, integrity and commitment to move the country forward.
A government coming after so many years of waste must be a government first that emphasizes fiscal prudence, a government that emphasizes integrity in public finance, so that we manage the little resources we have to achieve the maximum that can be achieved.
Let's widen the tax net. Those who are not paying now, if it is inclusive of Bola Tinubu, let the nets get bigger and we take in more taxes, and that is what we must do in the country.
The event was attended by top government functionaries, experts from public and private sectors, and the royal fathers. Now to electoral matters. The governorship supplementary election conducted in Adamawa State was conducted in 44 polling units under a peaceful atmosphere. Tafawa Hamza Mayo is standing by with a situation report.
This is Kofar Waziri Modibo polling unit 007 and 008 of Bakowat of Ola South local government area of Adamawa State. This polling unit is one of the polling units across Adamawa where supplementary elections is holding right now. Elections, materials and officials arrived in good time, as well as voting commenced as scheduled. Let's hear from some voters who have already cast their ballot in this polling unit. How can you describe the cooperation from security and INEC officials?
The security, police and the INEC officials
Thank you very much. So this is another question. Have you cast your ballot? You have casted your ballot. How can you describe the supplementary election?
Yeah, the supplementary election is clear and credible. The only problem we have is the issue of voter turnout and voter education.
Kin yi zaɓe ya kika ga zaɓen? The turnout is very impressive, and so far the election process is going on smoothly without any issue. That's all we can give to you from the forward in Dollar South. Over to you.
We do apologize for the poor audio in that report. Now, political stalwarts in Nigeria has called for the enactment of stronger management structures to help in the management of election victory. Speaking on Good Morning Nigeria today, the guest also called for an all-inclusive system of government instead of the winner-take-all situation. Daniel Adiri has details.
The establishment of strong and efficient structures such as management committees to manage and handle the excesses of election victories has been highlighted as a key factor for maintaining and keeping the peace after the elections.
First and foremost, you may need to establish a transition committee. This transition committee will give you an idea of what is currently on the ground. They would also look at your manifesto, your philosophy, and be able to say, okay, this is the direction you should go. This is what you should do here. This is where the last government stopped. And even look at the finances, because a lot of your achievement will depend on what amount of finances are available to you.
Former Governor Edo State Osereme Osumbo noted that both the candidates and the political parties must be a positive guiding example to the electorate and party supporters on how to channel their emotions in the face of electoral victory or loss.
In periods like this, we expect that the political party leadership must set the tone, lead the way, show leadership in order that the victory can be best managed.
Senator representing Oyo State Senatorial District, Kola Balogun, who spoke from NTA Ibadan studio, called for an all-inclusive system, which he said will see a synergy of both the winning and non-winning parties working in unison to achieve the sole purpose of serving the needs of the people.
For me, I like to recommend an all-inclusive government. You want to bring in talents from wherever you can find them. It does not matter who it is. But of course, in doing so, you must also consult widely. You must carry the party leadership along, because when you fail to do that, you will get the party structure and the party leadership upset.
As soon as somebody is elected, he becomes a servant of society, a servant to the community. And so his focus at this time should be on service.
They stressed on the fact that politics must not be a do-or-die affair, and godfatherism should be eradicated from the political structure. In Abuja, Daniel Adiriye, NTA News.
Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court Abuja has fixed 2nd April 2019 to deliver judgment on the suit by the African Action Alliance Party challenging INEC's decision to resume collation and announcement of the March 9th governorship election. Olabode Ariwa reports.
Following reported incidents of violence during the March 9, 2019 governorship election in Rivers State, governorship candidate of the African Action Congress, Biokpomabo Awara, went to court. He alleged that the Independent National Electoral Commission, which had earlier announced that it would schedule a fresh election, later recanted and rather opted to complete collation and announcement of the results. Counsel to the party, David Adegbe, told Justice Inyang Ekwo that INEC erred in its action as his party had made advanced preparations to participate in a fresh election. INEC, as the first defendant, failed to put up appearance in court. On his part, Mr. Emmanuel Ukala, senior advocate of Nigeria, who is counsel for the second defendant, the PDP, argued that the courts lacked jurisdiction to entertain the matter, saying the Supreme Court had ruled in several instances that only a tribunal had powers to hear election cases. Justice Inyang Ekwo thereafter received judgment on the case to 2nd of April 2019. From the Federal High Court, Abuja, Olabode Ariwa, NTA News.
Now, Minister of Information and Culture, Mohammed, says public enlightenment and efforts by the ministry on the ease of doing business policy of government has yielded favorable outcomes. This was when the minister appeared before the House of Representatives Committee on Information to defend the ministry's 2019 budget. The minister said in line with this mandate, the ministry would continue to project the policies and programs of government, not just for the benefit of citizens, but to equally eliminate misinformation at the world level, having become a global village. Details in our subsequent bulletin. Ministry of Science and Technology has proposed for the establishment of National Agency for Research in Robotics and Artificial Intelligence and a National Agency for Desertification and Erosion Research in its 2019 budget estimates presented to the National Assembly. Minister Ogbonnaya Onu explained that the projects when he appeared before the Senate Committee on Science and Technology to defend the 2019 budget performance of the ministry. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nani reports.
Minister Onu pointed to various achievements of the ministry, including development of water-based thermostable vaccine for the control of Newcastle disease in rural poultry. The minister is also optimistic that the new agencies proposed in the 2019 budget estimates will improve the socio-economic development of the nation through indigenous research on science and technology.
You must do basic research and you also do applied research. If you do only applied research, you will never catch up with other people. Because once you are doing basic research, the one thing you will find will now give you, all the resources that can pay for, your applied research. This is an area that the nation is very weak. So it is important that, let us know this. But every effort is being made now, to reverse this.
And I thought that we have a department of such in the Ministry of Environment. And I believe that instead of duplication, we should work in synergy with that department, which I believe really is their core responsibility.
Meanwhile, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Mohammed, while defending the 2018 budget performance before the House Committee on Police Affairs, solicited more releases for the Nigerian police force to enable it perform optimally in its mandate to protect the lives and property of Nigerians.
Appropriation in respect of overhead costs and capital budget to the force over the years have failed to meet the funding requirements of the police.
The committee members who decried paucity of funds, which obviously has limited performance of the Nigerian police across the country, pledged to ensure passage of the Police Trust Fund Bill, which has been transmitted to the Senate for concurrence.
If we can have that, I strongly believe we will have enough funds to operate the police duties as enshrined in Section 4 of the Police Act.
Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Still with the National Assembly, ministries, departments and parastatals have been admonished to employ creative strategies in the running of government agencies to prevent wastage and the recurring trend of huge budget estimates presented yearly. This formed part of the discussion at the 2019 budget defense sitting by the Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes. National Assembly correspondent Omotola Omojola has details.
Comparing the 2018 budget performance and 2019 budget proposal of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, the committee is concerned about low releases for personnel costs in 2018 as against the appropriated. It, however, emphasized the need for detailed accounting for purchases and creative substitution for some overhead costs.
If you look for 172,760,000 for it, and you received 147 out of 170 for this, how much does it cost us to do solar powered this in your offices using this amount of money? There's no breakdown. Do you have the breakdown there of the vehicles and some of what this is? We need these explanations. It will guide us to make better submission and support for this commission to work better.
The commission says shortfall in the cash releases is responsible for carryover of projects.
Among the challenges faced by the Commission are budget constraints arising from incomplete releases of both approved overhead and capital estimate. This has negatively impacted the ability of the Commission to meet pressing needs and obligations.
In another budget, Defense Standards Organization of Nigeria for the Senate Committee on Industries assures that the 2019 budget will consolidate on previous efforts of the agency to ensure quality in products and services for a safer Nigeria.
The Standard Organization of Nigeria has been able to approve a landmark number of 339 standards within this last year. So we also made a milestone in improving the quality of services that are rendered in Nigeria.
The committees urge MDAs on early submission of estimates for proper examination and enhanced quality appropriation. From the National Assembly, Omotola Omojola, NTA News.
And reports just reaching us says all pending issues on pension payment in the federal public sector will be resolved by the federal government as a deliberate attempt towards restoring the dignity of all those in retirement who sacrificed their lives for Nigeria. President Muhammad Buhari gave this assurance at the formal launch of Micro Pension Plan. This is a unique financial product introduced by the National Pension Commission towards expanding the nation's pension coverage to the informal sector of the economy. State House correspondent Adam Musambo has details.
Micro pension plan.
This drama presentation depicting the features and benefits of the micro pension plan sets the tone for the launch of the new pension savings product as President Muhammad Buhari formally registered Sagiri Shawai, a keke napep operator from Karu village, as first participant. Designed to fit the peculiarities of the various informal sector workers, the micro pension plan, which democratizes the savings culture in Nigeria, perfectly aligns with the social investment programs of the federal government. For President Muhammad Buhari, the micro pension plan is a natural next step towards consolidating the achievements recorded so far by the provision of grants, concessionary loans, and technical support to farmers, traders, and SMEs through the SME clinics, thereby changing lives in many positive ways.
The federal government will continue to support the National Pension Commission to ensure a successful rollout of the product. The Financial System Strategy 2020 is also hereby directed to support this initiative within the framework of its activities, especially as it relates to financial inclusion. In addition to this program, we are also working tirelessly to sanitize some of the rot within the pension system we inherited.
The president promised Nigerians that despite the lean resources of government, his administration is committed to resolving all pending issues on pension payment in the country.
We will ensure all hardworking Nigerians in the private sector, both formal and informal, can retire without fear. We have already started on this journey. We must all come together to ensure these reforms are fully implemented and their positive impact is felt by the rightful beneficiaries.
This is the first time such a window of opportunity is being opened to self-employed Nigerians and those working in the informal sector to participate and enjoy the benefits inherent in the contributory pension scheme.
We expect that within few years of implementation, the micro pension plan will not only expand the pension coverage to a greater number of Nigerians, but will boost the quantum of the pool of long-term pension assets available for economic development.
The pension fund administrators, consistent with the guidelines developed by PENCOM, have put in place appropriate structure and infrastructure to ensure adequate coverage of the plan and trained manpower to facilitate excellent customer service to the participants.
Records from the National Pension Commission show that as at January 2019, Nigeria has over 8.74 trillion naira pension assets belonging to over 8.4 million formal sector participants. This is not only changing Nigeria's financial landscape, but also transforming the course and pace of its socio-economic development. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Young African entrepreneurs harp on good governance. Dotun in our Lagos Center has details on that report and other stories. Hello, Dotun.
Hello, Jumai, and welcome to Lagos. 46 young entrepreneurs from 15 African countries are in Lagos for 3 days to find solutions to good governance, promote transparency and accountability at all levels in their various countries. The program is organized by the U.S. Department of State. Ime Udori compiled the report.
Young African Leadership Initiative, YALI, is a network of people with like minds who come together to raise awareness on issues and take action to solving current problems that matter to them and their communities. Public Affairs Officer, U.S. Consulate General, Lagos, Russell Brooks, who declared open the session, says the U.S. government has assembled a team of highly qualified trainers to help participants improve on their various projects.
For some of them, maybe they will come up with an idea that falls within the goals of a particular embassy or U.S. mission, and maybe they will be able to offer some support. The idea is to give them the skills and the confidence, the techniques that will enable them to reach out to other sources as well.
At the end of this tech camp, we hope that they all have an action plan for how they can scale up the project that they're working on.
I know that the series of workshops will birth collaborations and partnerships across different countries with different entrepreneurs.
Participants speak on the various projects.
Imagine a mobile application or online platform where young people can get involved in political processes.
Being part of the YALI Tech Camp has helped us to improve upon that, to introduce some tech realities and digital tools that help us to bridge the gap that exists between people dealing with mental health issues.
My focus is on how this technology is going to influence how people take part in votes, how they advocate for human rights.
The 46 participants are alumni of previous tech camps drawn from different African countries.
Worried by the persistent environmental degradation and health risk associated with the sighting of tank farms in their neighborhood, residents of Satellite Town in Lagos are set to confront the challenges using community-based initiative. Michael Olaleye reports that construction of drainage and road network top the community's priority.
The situation persists at Satellite Town, as residents are still scrambling for sanity since the invasion of the community by 12 tank farms. The multiplier effects are devastating as flood and endless queue continue to threaten the peace of residents and businesses.
We've been managing all along, but this time it's grounded.
Members of the community are mobilizing themselves to solve the problem, which has made life unbearable for the past 4 years.
There have been some works on Marwa Road. All those works have been, we call it palliative. The long term is that there is need to expand this road.
We don't want any additional more tank farm in this area. We don't want container terminal in this area. We cannot combine those two heavy-duty trucks in this area.
The local council development area is more concerned about the nonchalant attitude of tanker drivers, which threatened the maintenance of infrastructure.
They've been here, we can't drive them away. We have to accommodate them. For we to accommodate them, they should be able to give the community the best thing that they know it is mainly for them.
With the rainy season around the corner, residents are optimistic that this intervention will bring an end to years of environmental challenges. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NT News.
Suspected criminal gangs involved in 11 different criminal cases have been paraded at the command headquarters of the Nigerian police force in Lagos. Jesuton Moses reports that among them was a 5-man fraudster gang who posed as house agents to defraud a newlywed couple of 900,000 naira.
It was a harvest of deviance for the State Police Command as they paraded suspects caught from various divisions of the state. Badagry to Ikorodu, Ikeja to Mushin, and many more. The 5-man fraudster gang, comprising 61-year-old Elabo Aruoya, 54-year-old Adesina Abegunde, and other 3, all 42 years old respectively, had defrauded a newlywed couple in the month of February this year of 900,000 naira.
Having brainwashed the victim that he is the landlord of the house, he gave a GT Bank account number through which the victims paid the sum of 900,000 naira.
The money they give is just 20% of what is paid to me, so I don't really have much input into it.
Among those arrested were a 4-member robbery gang who allegedly killed the administrative officer of Ijaniki Division of the Nigerian Police, rival cult group at Oworo, and a dismissed soldier from Maiduguri caught in a hotel in Ijaniki.
We are KK, Clansmen Confraternity. They normally call us all very efficient.
The State Police Commissioner Muazu Zubairu assured residents of Lagos that the command will leave no stone unturned at ensuring that criminal elements in the state are fished out and appropriately dealt with according to the law. In Lagos, J. Sutton, Moses, NTA News.
This is Nationwide News. Time for a quick break. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
You are watching NTA Nationwide. Now, the Wale Babalaki-led federal government committee on Wednesday resumed its negotiation with the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Dawn India reports that the Academic Staff Union presented a new timetable for the dialogue, which was held at the National University Commission, Abuja.
It is a closed-door meeting. The Wale Babalaki-led committee resuming its deliberation after about 10 months of its adjournment following the strike action embarked upon by the academic union. Although journalists were not given access to the document presented by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, but the meeting, which lasted for about 6 hours, seems to have a positive outcome, just as it was explained by the chairman of the committee, Wale Babalaki.
ASU submitted a timetable today. If I can speak broadly, there are over 20 issues in that timetable. So it's not a singular issue. There are many issues to be discussed, and they will all be discussed. And both sides made extensive contributions for the benefit of the university system.
President Muhammad Buhari had constituted the committee to wade into the lingering crisis rocking the university system, some of which are lack of adequate funding and the non-implementation of the agreement between ASU and the federal government.
That memorandum was presented to us amongst the papers that we saw. So I believe there is some progress. We just want a comprehensive one.
Although no one knows how long this will last, but when it's completed, it is expected to produce a common front between the union and the federal government, that which will stabilize the tertiary institution in Nigeria as well as the education sector. In Abuja, Dawn India, NTA News.
The wife of Ekiti State Governor Erelu Bisi Fayemi has taken over payment of the school fees of a medical student whose late father composed the state anthem. Kola Adeboboye reports that a 26-seater bus was also presented to the teaching hospital.
The College of Medicine of the Ekiti State University has been established to produce medical doctors from different fields about a decade ago, without full accreditation, thereby preventing its students from graduation as part of the requirements and criteria to fast-track the full accreditation of the college, hence the donation of the 22-seater Hyundai Coaster bus.
It is unfortunate to have kept this very brilliant set of students in the university for 10 years. And so our duty as a government is to support the university to accelerate the graduation in the shortest possible time.
In another development, the wife of the governor, Irelu has taken up responsibility of a 500-level student of College of Medicine of the state-owned university, Olaitan Ologunde, who is on the verge of dropping out of school as a result of her inability to meet the financial requirements. Olaitan Ologunde, an orphan, is a daughter of the late composer of Ekiti Anthem, Pa Joshua Ologunde.
We could not fold our hands while a daughter of one of our heroes in the state who passed away a few years ago dropped out of medical school because she cannot afford to pay her fees.
This is just a life-changing part in my life, and I'm so grateful for the fact that I can continue with my education.
Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Olubumi Ajayi, commended the state government for the gesture in Ado Ekiti. Kola Adebobuyi, NTA News.
And the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development is interfacing with relevant stakeholders across the country to sensitize Nigerians on the recently enacted law on discrimination against persons with disability. Momso Damian Detti has details.
Bede Obinna was a successful businessman before he got blind at the age of 30. Today, he is a master's degree holder in administration and planning. Now 45 years old, Obinna is yet to secure a job since his business crumbled 15 years ago. Not because of incapacity, but his blindness. His case reflects that of millions of other Nigerians with physical challenges, which necessitated the push for the disability bill to ensure the integration of such persons into the society. Although the bill has been passed, its implementation remains a major source of concern, and the Ministry of Women Affairs is leading the way to make it work.
To popularize some of the provisions of the new act among stakeholders and equally develop implementation strategies in order to prioritize some of the provisions, this meeting has become very important.
No doubt, awakening the consciousness to our responsibilities towards the global realization that the welfare of persons with disabilities, PWDs, needs more attention as one of the most important social units of every community.
At least persons with disability who are educated, who have gone to school, who have gone to university and come out roaming around, no job, will have their jobs now. That every job that the Civil Service Commission places in the vacancy will have 5%. I think very soon I'll be smiling home with the job. That's what I'm thinking.
Finally, Obinna and his likes are seeing a ray of hope of securing jobs and being treated like every other citizen. Momso Damian Dati, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria is looking at how to reverse medical tourism to India and how to enhance capacity building for the mutual benefit of Nigeria and India. These were some of the issues discussed when the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Hussaini, received in audience the Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria.
I think this is quite substantial because informal as it appears, these are areas that have high social costs, which when we gain from would also be boosting the economy because there will now be more disposable incomes to the households, which otherwise would have been expended in these sectors. So we appreciate the visit.
A request for more mobile Indian medical teams to be deputed to various parts of Nigeria was put forward, and we'll be very happy to support it. Under the capacity building initiative of Government of India, the International Technical and Economic Collaboration Program, where we have 5,000 foreign nationals avail of its various trainings in a range of Indian institutions, that was also discussed. So I think overall we are very happy to support the development of Nigeria through and closer collaboration. Look forward to doing more in my years ahead.
Thank you.
Joseph Johnson reports that both parties were unanimous that the cooperation will deepen diplomatic ties between Nigeria and India. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has revoked the bail granted the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, and issued a bench warrant for his arrest for jumping bail. Aliu Tuku reports.
Nnamdi Kanu, who has been standing trial along with 3 others for treason, was granted bail on the 25th of April 2017. Since his bail, Mr. Kanu did not appear in court again. His counsel and sureties cannot give the court information on his whereabouts. On resuming the trial, prosecution counsel urged the court to revoke the bail, issue a bench warrant for his arrest, and commence the trial in his absence, since the accused has jumped bail and his sureties cannot produce him. Justice Binta Nyako, who earlier stood down a motion on the forfeiture of the bail bond of the sureties because of a pending appeal, agreed with the prosecution that adequate time was given to the defense, but they failed to utilize it and therefore revoked the bail.
The court has given an order that the sureties must deposit 100 million naira each, amounting to 300 million naira, to the courts within 2 months from the date of the order, and that after 6 months and failure to produce Nnamdi Kanu, they should forfeit the bail bond. And dissatisfied with that ruling, they went on appeal.
We have documents to show to the court on why he's not here. Today, we are now communicating with him. We know he's alive and has given us accounts of what transpired between him and the military. So these are what we expected to furnish the court. And each time we want to inform the court, notify the court about it, the court said, no, Ejiofor, I don't want to hear from people. Let me hear from the sureties. When we are done with them, we'll now go back to your case. Now today, we expected that while having stayed the proceedings in suretyship, the court should afford us ample time to address him on why he's not here. So, however, we intend to challenge this ruling on appeal.
The case has been adjourned to the 18th of June for commencement of trial in the absence of the defendant. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Thank you, Aliu. INEC issues certificate of return to Governor Badaru. Rukaya is in Kaduna with details. Hello, Rukaya.
And welcome to Kaduna Network Center. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has presented certificates of return to Governor Badaru Abubakar of Jigawa State and legislators-elect in the state. Mohammed reports from Duze.
Governor Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, his deputy Umar Namadi, and 30 members of the State House of Assembly elect were presented with their certificates of return. They were all elected under the All Progressive Congress, APC. The Jigawa State Resident Electoral Commissioner Dr. Mahmoud Isa, who appreciated effort of all stakeholders, said INEC will continue to strive at all costs to ensure free, fair and credible elections.
There's a number of elections, various part of this country that were cancelled simply because the laid down rules and the regulation for the game has not been followed. We have a Nigerian constitution, we have an electoral act, we have election guidelines, which will strictly follow by it. If not, the election will have been cancelled.
Governor Mohammed Badaru Abubakar commended the orderly and transparent manner in which the elections were conducted, said 2019 elections were adjudged better than the 2015 elections.
Like I've always said, is we will continue on the good job that we are doing for the people. Critically among them is improving the economy of the people, health, water and infrastructure.
The governor applauded security agencies, especially the police, for zero incidents of violence and box snatching in the state. Awal Muhammad, NTA News.
Pride in courage, selflessness and sacrifice will continue to define the operations of the Infantry Corps Center, Jaji, Kaduna. Ibrahim Belugunda reports that the new commander of the Corps Center, Major General Steve Olabanji, stated this on assumption of duty.
Briefing the incoming commander, the outgoing commander Infantry Corps Center, Major General Hakim Otiki, who was posted to 8th Division Nigerian Army Sokoto, said he is leading a disciplined and vibrant corps that is well motivated for the task ahead.
The infantry has come to become the envy of other corps, and I have sustained that posture, and I'm sure General Labanji will do, if not better.
The newly posted Commander Infantry Corps Center, who was posted from 8th Division Nigerian Army Sokoto, Major General Steve Olabanji, said he is in Jaji to add value to what is on ground in line with the motto of the Corps: courage, dedication and service.
Not only in terms of infrastructure, we must build the institution. We must take infantry to its pride of place.
place in the Nigerian army.
Climax of the handing and taking over was the symbolic signing and decoration, as well as presentation of infantry flag to the incoming commander. In Kaduna, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, NTA News.
And Nigerian Customs Service Subcommittee for Distribution of Relief Materials to Orphanages and Internally Displaced Persons is in Zone B of the Command for the distribution of items to beneficiaries. Haman Jabani witnessed the exercise and now reports.
Mohammed Umar Nagandu has been running Birnin Gwari Orphanage Foundation for the past 13 years. The foundation has 3,911 IDPs in addition to 28 others staying with his family. On her part, Sarat Umar Kontagura has been running the Maliki Orphanage Care in Kaduna for over 2 years with 76 children under her care. Mohammed and Saadatu represent many other philanthropists that benefited from the 36,000 bags of rice and other assorted items worth millions of naira distributed so far by the Nigerian Customs Service Subcommittee on Distribution of Relief Materials to Orphanages and IDP camps.
The burden is so much, but with such items, it will help in seeing to the upkeep of the orphanage.
This is the first time we are seeing such a charity of humanitarian act.
The distribution, which is a continuous process, has covered 105 beneficiary organs, with more being sorted out.
The Nigerian Customs Service is doing its own best as a corporate social responsibility.
As these orphanages and foundation take delivery of the items, the subcommittee warns them against selling any of the items meant strictly for the indigent under their care. Those under the care of Mohammed and Saadatu are now sure of guaranteed enhanced meal for as long as possible. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Kaduna. It's back to Jumai in Abuja for more stories on Nationwide.
Thank you, Rukaya. Let me take another breather. More reports when we return. This is NTA Nationwide. Now, a serious alarm is being raised over the growth of an organized crime and the sale of human organs across identified black markets in the world. Most often, people falling victims of this crime are improper migrants and trafficked persons. Our correspondent Usman Aliu says the federal government has intensified awareness nationwide against the illicit business.
Nigeria's diverse cultures, norms and values provide one illustration, that is human dignity. But moral degeneration is said to be seriously affecting such values of recent. This visit by the officials of National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons at the Palace of Deji of Akure is all about exposing traffickers who sell people for sexual exploitation, domestic labor, and worst of all, vital human organs in some part of the world.
Victims are brutally murdered and their vital organs crudely removed with the help of some medical practitioners and sold to the highest bidders. And that is why we decided to look very closely at the so-called ritual murders, because we want to believe that there's a relationship between that and organ sales.
Ondo State government is also worried that the issue is changing the low crime status rating of the state. Therefore, a task force is now put in place for anti-human trafficking. And the police is equally reinventing strategies for the fight. Schools are also informed about the tricks by traffickers and the consequences of illegal migration. Usman Aliu, NTA News.
We now move over to Maiduguri, where Abubakar is telling us that Governor Kashim Shettima has commiserated with the people of Gajiram over the fire incident. Hello, Abubakar. Good to see you.
Hello, Jumai. It's good to see you too, and a warm welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State government is to introduce daily digital biometric capture for civil servants at workplaces to ensure punctuality and regular attendance. Governor Kashim Shettima announced this when he visited Gajiram, headquarters of Ganzai local government, on a sympathy visit following last week's fire outbreak in the town. Mohammed Goni reports.
The Inferno, which claimed 7 lives, also destroyed property worth millions of naira, including residential houses and a health facility. Flagging up distribution of relief materials to victims of the fire disaster, Governor Kashim Shettima sympathized with the victims and prayed for the departed souls, adding that the items were meant to provide succor to them. He called on parents in Ganze local government area to send their wards to school, as government has completed construction of mega schools in Gajiram town, awaiting inauguration. The governor enjoined the stakeholders of the area to be fair and just to all in distributing the 500 housing units that will soon be inaugurated, stressing that the houses should be allocated to the deserving members of the community. SEMA Executive Chairman Yabawa Kolo and the representative of the PCNI said the food and non-food items donated in collaboration with NEMA were to provide relief to the 1,500 households that were affected by the fire incident. Senator representing Borno North, Abubakar Kyari, donated the sum of 4 million naira. Member representing Monguno, Nganze and Marte Federal Constituency, Mohammed Tahir Monguno, also donated 3 million naira, while the member representing the area at the State Assembly donated 2 million naira. Inspecting the affected primary health care center, Governor Kashim Shettima, who didn't meet most of the staff, said government will not tolerate negligence as salaries and other entitlements are paid regularly.
Any medical doctor in the employ of the Borno State government who happens to come from this part of the world and is not willing to come and serve his own people, he resign of the services of the Borno State government. And we are going to send biometric team to conduct biometric exercise on all the teachers and all the medical personnel of this local government.
While there, the governor inspected the finishing touches on the facilities about to be inaugurated. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Skoni, NTA News.
National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons says it will spare no effort in addressing series of nutritional challenges confronting victims of insurgency within the Northeast region. Team leader from the National Commission for Refugees, Itoro Moses Duku, stated this when she led other officials of the commission to NYSC IDP camp Maiduguri for assessment of persons suffering from acute malnutrition, preparatory to flagging off of a nutrition support program at various IDPs camps in northeastern Nigeria. Here is the report. The assessment by officials of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons in collaboration with International Organization for Migration, UNICEF, as well as Borno State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, is to ensure effective coverage among pregnant and lactating mothers, in addition to children below the age of 5. According to the team leader, Itoro Moses Duku, one of the core mandate of setting up the commission is to address critical issues facing IDPs, hence the immediate health intervention program.
The essence of our coming here is actually on the preventive measure, to create awareness in the camp for them to know exactly how to eat a healthy, a balanced diet, and prevent malnutrition.
Zonal Coordinator, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and IDPs, Abdullahi Ahmed, said they have made significant progress so far in terms of physical assessment and data collection of the targeted beneficiaries.
The conduct is very peaceful. We've started and it is ongoing, and we will continue until when we have exhausted all the beneficiaries.
The beneficiaries commended the Commission for coming up with the health initiative and assured of maximum cooperation for optimum results. And that's our contribution from Maiduguri. Jummai is back to you now for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Abubakar. Nigeria is addressing the poor maintenance culture, which is rated as one of the lowest around the world. Gufan Shaji reports that the National Institute for Cultural Orientation is leading desensitization to change this habit that has had negative effects on public property.
One needs not to look far and search deeper before seeing what lack of maintenance culture has caused public properties and utilities across the country. The alarming rise of infrastructural decay and dilapidation experienced over the years as a result of poor maintenance culture attributed to the negative attitude towards public property. It is to change the notion that government property is nobody's business that this quarterly public lecture tagged Maintenance Culture, a panacea for sustainable infrastructural development in Nigeria, is taking place in Abuja. It is a wake-up call to Nigerians to imbibe positive attitudes towards the nation's infrastructure by owning them, ensuring their protection and maintenance.
There's a little or no fund allocation for the maintenance of our infrastructure. Most times you find that in most of our agencies, provisions are not made to maintain structures when they are provided. Attention was also raised for the need to reset mindsets, especially at the family level and educational institutions, to promote Nigerian cultures.
That at our family level, we must re-establish the discipline we used to know of in those days. If we say we cannot start anything again, then what we are talking here is going to be a miracle.
The National Institute for Cultural Orientation, which is leading the Maintain Public Property campaign, is using the lecture as one of the vehicles to carry the message to all. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
Sports Update is next. It's a wrap on Nationwide. Thanks for watching.